Hey you. It's been a while. It's been about 2 weeks since my last video actually. And I don't know if you've seen it, but it was a budgeting video. I got a new cash wallet and I kind of stuffed it, like I unstuffed and restuffed. It was like a whole thing. But you should go check it out and let me know anything I can do differently to make the viewing experience more enjoyable or just better quality, honestly. It was my first budgeting video in that style. And it definitely got a lot less engagement than my previous one, which is so funny to me because the first budgeting video I ever made, it was like so last minute and so rushed and everything else, but it ended up doing really well. And it could have just been because it was part of Vlogmas or the time I uploaded. I honestly don't know, but I'm interested in hearing your feedback as the people that watch my videos and just let me know what you want to see in that and how often, because I don't want to turn this whole channel into a budgeting channel, but it's part of my life, so I want to share it with you. So yeah, just give me some feedback on that. So this video is kind of just an update video because it's been 2 weeks and unfortunately I don't feel super inspired right now to make anything exciting. So if that's what you were looking forward to, I'm really sorry. Honestly, I've just been really busy with work. For those of you that don't know, I have 2 jobs right now. They're both part-time, but between the two, sometimes I work more than full-time. And this week I'm trying to avoid doing that. So I have a couple days off this week, which is good and pretty normal. Today being one of those days, and you know, I've caught up on my sleep. Even though they say you can't catch up on sleep, I felt like I've slept all day and it's still pretty early in the day. I really tired myself out last week. I think I worked 45 hours and I was working every single day of the week, even though some days were only 4 hours, but it was exhausting and I don't ever want to do that again. But I'm really hoping that the paycheck will be worth it. And I've been kind of, you know, been saving up my money and stuff, so working a lot is good for doing that. But I want to just find balance between working and resting because, you know, even 6 days a week is pretty miserable and not sustainable, and I know it'll lead to burnout. So definitely trying to get on top of that from here on out and just be more mindful of how much I'm actually working and how much I'm resting and things like that. But as you can tell, I'm still in the same house. I still live with my mom. And I do have plans to move out. I have no clue when that's gonna happen. I'm hoping once spring hits. I originally wanted to be out by spring, but it was just not realistic. It wasn't a very realistic goal. So once spring hits though, there's a potential job opportunity for me to work with kids in foster care. And I'm really looking forward to that because I feel like it'd be a lot more fulfilling than customer service and such. I love working with kids and at-risk youth and even, you know, like young adults. So I think it'll be really good for my soul to be in a job that my heart just like goes out to, you know? So I don't really have any updates on that specifically right now. I just know that it's a possibility and a, you know, potential door that I can walk through if I choose to. And I'm really hoping that everything works out with that because I would love to get out of the job that I'm currently at, one of them at least, because it's a part-time position, at least for now. It's part-time and I don't really know what that means. I don't know if that's gonna be 4 days a week or how many hours. Like I have no clue. I don't know if it's gonna be all on site or if some of it's gonna be remote. All I know is someone talked to me about it and I was like, okay, yeah, like I'm interested and keep me updated. So that's kind of where that stands. Let's see. The past 2 weeks I've spent some time with my family. My sister came and visited with her husband and baby, and that was really nice. I've been reconnecting with some old friends and kind of trying to get out of the house as much as I can without having my vehicle right now. But yeah, I would say that was like 2 weeks ago. So probably after I uploaded my video, I was hanging out with my friends because last week was brutal and I didn't have any time to do anything. This week, I don't really have any plans socially. The only thing I really have potentially is going to a meeting tonight for that organization that I might have a job with. Aside from that, I've been spending my time in therapy. I have therapy every week and I think it's going pretty well. Sometimes it's hard to talk about how well like therapy is going because you don't really notice it week by week. It's sort of something that you notice over a period of time. And I think lately I'm definitely not not as inspired, I guess, or motivated. So I guess you could say I've been feeling a little bit down the past few weeks. I think even in my last budgeting video, I maybe wasn't feeling my best, but it felt a little bit easier to make the budgeting video because it wasn't like face to face and I could talk about things that weren't necessarily my feelings. But yeah, honestly, even making this video, I want to give you guys an update and I want to just let you know, like, I'm doing okay and I still, care about this channel and I still want to put my time and energy into it. I just haven't felt my best. Like, honestly, I haven't really felt inspired and I haven't felt motivated to make anything. So yeah, I mean, that's just me being real about kind of where I'm at right now. And I don't anticipate it's always going to be like this. And in the past, I would feel this way and then I would sort of just give up on the entire thing as a whole. And I don't want to do that again. I've done that a lot in the past and I know that I've changed and I've grown a lot in consistency, especially this year. So I don't see that happening, but I want to keep it real and I want to let you know that sometimes, I don't feel inspired or creative. And to be honest, I think a lot of that has to do with just the season that we're in and like physically the fact that it's winter, but also just where I'm at in my life right now. And, I'm still at home and I live with my mom and it kind of creates this like feeling of being trapped a little bit. And I don't have my car right now because of the weather. And so it just kind of adds to that feeling of like, I want to get out of here, I feel a little stuck. So it's hard to feel motivated and inspired when you feel like you can't move, So I anticipate it getting better in the spring. Even just being able to go outside and not freeze to death will be really nice. I love like laying in my hammock and reading books, going for walks. I have my little treadmill thing, but I haven't been using it, honestly, for a lot of reasons. It's so different than like going outside and having the sun on your skin and hearing all the birds. And yes, there are winter birds, which is honestly really nice because I think without them, winter would actually just be the worst season ever. But the spring birds and when the mourning doves come out, it's just like, so nostalgic, but also so beautiful. And I don't know, spring just hits different and I love it. I love spring and summer so much and I can't wait to get out there and just be outside more, and I know that that will make me feel better. Aside from therapy, I've been reading different books and stuff lately. One of them's an audiobook. It's about intuitive eating. Throughout my life, I've had a really negative relationship with food, and it's something that I was like, intuitive eating in general was something that I was kind of scared of for some reason. And a lot of that was just like the negative talk kind of going on in my head. Like, well, if I start, if I actually learn how to be healthy, then I'm never gonna like lose weight, and just caring so much about my appearance and the way that my body looks. And I just kind of got to this point where I was like, okay, enough is enough. Like, obviously whatever I'm doing is not working and I feel terrible all the time and I hate myself. And I was noticing that I was not necessarily acting hateful toward other people, but just feel like I felt so bad about myself that like I was like judging people like really bad in my head. And I really was disgusted by doing that, and I was like so frustrated with myself that I was doing that and I didn't know why, but like it's like I did but I didn't, you know what I mean? And I was like, okay, like this has to stop. My relationship with food needs to improve so that I can see myself rightly and see other people rightly, because they deserve it, and I deserve it. I deserve to love myself and not hate myself every single day. So yeah, I've been listening to that audiobook. It's called Intuitive Eating by Evelyn, and I honestly don't remember the other author, but so far it's been like really enlightening, and I feel like I'm learning a lot about just the constant messaging that we receive, living in this culture, the westernized culture and diet culture and stuff like that, and how like literally you grab a box of cereal and it's like half the gill, or like usually like popcorn and things like that, like the diet, like smart food, like literally even just the name, and you just don't realize how surrounded by it you are until someone kind of taps you on the shoulder and says like, hey, this is what's actually going on right now, and how can we get out of this place and notice it. And it's definitely been interesting, and I think right now I'm going to be entering like the experimental phase where in the past with my relationship with food. I wouldn't eat certain things, or I wouldn't eat at all, or I would eat too much. Like, really just depended. I've tried like a million different diets for different reasons, you know, health reasons, or for this or for that. And it wasn't actually for that. Like, every time I started something, maybe part of it was for that, but the majority of the reason that I would ever start a diet was because I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to be thin, because that's something that's really pushed here in Western culture, and you see all these celebrities and everything, and thin is beautiful. And obviously there's been a movement to love our bodies and love bigger bodies, and you know, even that is still like not necessarily taking away the fact that the ideal is very, very thin, like petite, you know? So the experimental phase is kind of just where I get to eat things that I've always been like, no, I can't have that, I can't have that, I can't have this, can't have that, and kind of just figure out like what I actually like. And I like trying new things, so I think this will be kind of fun. I like cooking, so I get to be a little bit creative and, you know, maybe make new dishes, and nothing is off limits. So it's pretty exciting, because I don't know, you know, if you've ever been on a diet before, and depending on how strict it is, you know, let's say a calorie deficit, every recipe that you want to find has to, you know, fit like your macros and stuff. So you're buying low fat this, low fat that, like less calorie this, less calorie that. And I, you know, was eating a rice cake with an egg and some avocado, and it tasted okay, but rice cakes honestly are kind of like styrofoam. Like, it's like actually biting into a piece of styrofoam. So to be honest, it's tolerable, but it's not my favorite. And do I want to eat that again? Probably not. To be honest, I would rather have a piece of toast, like sourdough. I love sourdough, and so I might as well enjoy what I'm eating instead of eating freaking styrofoam. Yeah, I kind of got off on a tangent there. What was I talking about? One second. The experimental phase. I'm kind of looking forward to it, but there's a lot of mindfulness that goes into it, and it's kind of like, what does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it feel like? Is it salty, sweet? Like, just actually almost like over analyzing everything that you put into your body, but not in like a toxic, like counting calories way, but just in a mindful, like you're paying attention while you're eating way. And so I'm kind of looking forward to that challenge as well, because, you know, I am a big like iPad kid. I didn't necessarily grow up in the era, but I love watching YouTube videos when I eat, and you know, I like to have a snack when I watch a YouTube video. And something that I've definitely been more mindful of the past couple weeks is making sure that when I'm eating, I'm not doing something else. And now it's kind of like adding another layer to that, where I'm also, you know, not being distracted, but now I'm specifically paying attention to like the smell, the color, the taste, like all of the senses of like everything going into it. One second. So anyway, I'm looking forward to this phase of the process, and it's only been a few weeks of listening to this audiobook. I think I'm on chapter 12 now, and I don't know how many chapters there are. I also think that I want to borrow the physical book, because I don't know about you, but when I listen to audiobooks, I tend to fall asleep, and so then it's like constantly playing catch up. So I feel like maybe there's some things that I missed, and it would be nice to go back and actually read it with my own eyes, and maybe even take notes here and there. What I was saying, it's only been a couple weeks, and I can't say that my relationship with food is fully healed, but I can tell that it is currently healing, and I don't judge myself nearly as much as I used to, and I've noticed that my judgment against other people is basically non-existent, which is one of the main reasons that I really was like, okay, this needs to change, because I hated the way that I was like thinking about other people. I hated it. It was so ugly, and it's nice that that voice is like gone, you know, because I'm not constantly speaking to myself that way. I don't look at other people that way, and yeah, it's something that I'm very, very happy about, and there's a lot more peace, I think, in my mind. And I'm being very vulnerable right now, and I'm a little nervous about sharing, you know, the reality of disordered eating, honestly, because it's not pretty, and you know, I don't like to admit how ugly my thoughts were, but I think it's necessary, because that was part of it. You know, I thought that it was only affecting me, but it wasn't, and that might not be the case for everybody, but it was for me, and I hated it, so it needed to change. So yeah, thanks for letting me open up about that. The last thing that I kind of want to talk about or like touch base on is kind of some goals that I have for the rest of the month and, you know, into next month. As far as my room goes, I originally wanted to decorate it and just make it a space that was really comfy cozy, and I don't know how much I'm willing to invest in that process because I know that this is a temporary situation, and unfortunately temporary could mean another year or two. I have no clue. As of right now, I don't really know, and I don't want to sink tons of money into redoing my room, but I've decided that a good investment regardless is a desk and a chair so that I have a place to sit and film or edit or just read and journal. I just want to have a separate space that's not my bed, that's still private and comfortable for me to do those things. So I ended up finding a desk on Walmart for $30, and I'm still looking for a chair because the original chair that I found was $30, but after shipping it was like $60. And I was like, well, if I'm gonna spend $60 on a chair, I might as well find one with better reviews and faster shipping, honestly, free shipping. But I'm looking forward to that. So that's something that I'm going to start saving for. I don't like to buy things right away because I don't want to feed into the instant gratification. I want to, you know, set aside like chunks of money every week or every other week to, one, be sure that that's something that I want, and to slow down the gratification process so that I don't get in the habit of just buying things because I want to. I think that helps me in general with overconsumption and just being more mindful with my money because I am trying to save it and eventually move out. So that's that situation. And whenever I finally save up the money for the desk and the chair, I would love to invite you in on the building process. I hate building furniture, but it could make for some decent content. So, and then aside from that, I mean, I've painted the room and I want to put up art. So I'm thinking a more budget friendly to have art in my room is to make it myself. So that's something that I could also save up for. And then, you know, obviously make a video of the art that I'm making for the room. I just need to find some more inspiration and kind of figure out like how I'm going to go about it. And then just make time to actually do the art. And then I think the only other upgrade that I really want to make is either curtains or a bed set. But I'm leaning more toward curtains because they're definitely cheaper and I feel like they can elevate the room in a way, because basically the desk is on the wall where the curtains are, so it's like at least one side of my room and then the wall behind me would be really beautiful and, you know, on a budget. So we'll see about that, but some of my friends want to go thrifting sometime, so I'll just keep my eyes out for different things like that, which I actually need to start budgeting for thrifting so that I can have some money to spend. But I'm looking forward to doing that. I've always wanted to flip furniture, so maybe this is the year that I finally give that a try. I mean, so far the only thing that I flipped is my dresser and I just put new hardware on it, which is pretty easy. But honestly, sanding and staining things is relatively simple. So maybe I'll give that a shot, but we'll see. Like I said, I want to keep things on a budget because this is not permanent and I don't want to go all out if I don't have to. So, and I kind of already mentioned it, but another goal that I have from here on out is to just continue to save my money and spend it wisely, and I kind of already talked about that, so I'm not gonna go off on a rant. But yeah, I'm definitely impressed with the amount of money that I've been able to save on, you know, the income that I make, and I'm very grateful to, you know, my mom for letting me live here, even though it's uncomfortable a lot of the times just because it's not where I want to be forever. I'm still very grateful to her for, you know, offering me the space, and you know, I have my cats and I'm so happy to be with them again. So I am just finding the balance between saving and spending, because I could be really strict and never spend my money, but then I know that I'll have like I need like a, you know, and then you go to TJ Maxx and you spend like $1 million because I would never have $1 million, but you spend a lot of money and then you're like, oh shoot, like, you know, and I feel like that would happen to me if I don't allow myself to just buy things once in a while. And I actually recently bought my acupuncture mat that I've been wanting for a long time. I guess it's acupressure mat, but oh my gosh, I love it already. I already used it and I'm gonna use it before bed tonight because that thing just like puts me to sleep, and it doesn't make sense because it's painful, but after a while like I just knock out, and it's definitely been good, and I'm really hoping that helps me with my pain. It did in the past, and you know, it just like relaxes your muscles. So if not, it's amazing at putting me to sleep, so that's gonna be great because then I don't have to take like medicine or anything. 10 out of 10 recommend the acupressure mat. And lastly, I want to just keep growing in therapy and just in relationship with myself, growing my intuition and just being more honest about how I'm actually doing, because we live in a society where, you know, someone's like, hey, how are you? And you're like, good. And they're like, yep, good. But no one's actually talking about how they're really doing. And I want to be the one to like actually say what I'm feeling. Obviously, there's a time and a place, but I want to be honest, at least with myself. And if I'm the only person that's with me 24/7 and I'm the only person that can sit with these feelings, I want to be that person for me. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to all of the healing that's going to come this year, and the growing and the learning. And yeah, welcome. And I really hope that you can find something useful or helpful or even just comforting or encouraging in this video. And thank you for being here with me along the journey. And thank you for understanding that I'm a human being and my upload schedule is basically non-existent, but I missed you guys and I wanted you to know that I'm still here and I'm not going anywhere. So yeah, with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys again, and I'm not sure when, but I know that I will make another video in the future, and hopefully I will feel inspired to make something fun and creative and entertaining. But if not, I will probably see you again for another chat on how I've been doing and where I've been. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys being here and yeah, giving my channel a chance and just taking a chance on me as a person, and looking forward to building this community. So I'll see you guys next time.